Hey everyone, so this is going to be my final reflection on the performance project that we did throughout the course. I just wanted to start off by saying how impressed I was by all the dances. They were all really well done and were really fun to watch and try to figure out the themes that the choreographers represented in each. I really enjoyed watching each of the choreographers' ideas and the themes and how what we gave them and how we portray social justice to be actually came to life. So I chose these 4 themes that I noticed throughout this project that really kind of stuck out to me, and I will touch on each of these as the slides progress, but my themes are inequality, oppression, other perspectives, and I'll kind of elaborate on this more in a future slide, and then lastly, perseverance. So first with inequality, I believe a lot of the pieces had some form of inequality in them, whether it related to gender, race, or social class. Inequality can affect all different types of identities and doesn't really have a bias. So I chose these 3 images because I felt like they each kind of explain 3 specific types of inequalities, yet I know inequality ranges far more than what I've included here in this slide. So to explain the picture on the left, my choreographer at the end of all the dances said her main theme included classism and how one girl was being conformed. So classism and the distinction between the rich, middle class, and poor are very distinct and something we have touched on a couple times already in class. And I think that classism is one of the last themes or ideas that people tend to really think about when they hear inequality. In my mind, at least, the big themes are represented in race and gender issues. The picture on the bottom right is more of the inequality of genders and how men are more prone to get paid more with better paying jobs. So this idea is kind of changing with society, but is still definitely relevant even today, and was touched on in some of the dances that I noticed. And then lastly, the picture on the top right is a representation of how inequality kind of holds people down. Even though people are telling you to do better, that inequality is still there and still something that we have to deal with. So next with oppression, I mentioned on the last slide how the last picture kind of also relates to oppression. A majority of the dances, I believe, touched on oppression, and oppression and inequality are very similar in that certain populations are being held down, as this picture on the right shows, and then being caged, unable to reach their full potential and be set free. When you're oppressed, you are put in a box and you're unable to kind of go over those obstacles. And as with inequality, oppression is not biased to identities. People can be oppressed because of their ages, their religion, skin color, culture, gender, ability, or lack thereof, and it just goes on and on and on. For my third theme, I chose other perspectives. And what I mean by this is the ability to learn social justice topics and themes through other people's perspectives, stories, experiences, etc. So for example, when explaining my partner's top 3 themes when it comes to social justice, she took it in a completely different direction than I was expecting. We both saw the same themes, yet she thought of it in a completely new way. Excuse me. And as the first picture shows with the elephant, many people can be reading the same class text, see the same images, hear the same stories, and still develop their own ideas and opinions. That's because we look at it from different ways, different perspectives, or we've already experienced those in the past. That's why I really think it's important to listen to everyone else around you, because they may have picked up on something that you completely missed. And then combining those ideas together and opinions can bring together a bigger picture and allow you to see more than what you were just focused on, if that makes sense. Like the elephant, where one person saw a fan, one person saw a snake. If they put all of those ideas together and brainstorm, eventually, hopefully, they would find an elephant. That's the idea, at least. And I really like the second image I chose because, and I'm sure you've all seen this image a time or two before, but it kind of relates to the same idea of learning from other people's perspectives. Even though what we see is right in our own minds, someone always has the ability to see something different and it still be right. Like in this picture on the right, some people can see an old maiden first, while others see a young woman with her head to the side. Depending on what you focus on first, you're going to see something different. And you're both right. And that's what I think is interesting about this course, is that we're all able to be adults and have our own ideas and opinions, and then still appreciate and want to hear from other people. And I really like that image because it definitely brings that theme true. And then lastly, I chose perseverance. I mainly chose this one because I believe the dance in this project also touched a lot on this concept. With the themes such as safety, inequality, oppression, and everything else that was touched on in those dances, a big theme I saw was perseverance and overcoming whatever obstacle was in their way. Just from this project itself, we may have had to overcome and persevere from not hearing from our choreographers, being unsure of the process itself, or just being worried with how the dances were going to turn out in the end. Ultimately, though, the dancers and choreographers persevered and had a successful show, I think. And the same can be said for every social justice topic we've touched on in class. It means nothing to dwell in whatever situation you're in if you don't try to make a stand, even if you're alone, like the picture on the left says. I really enjoyed this class overall, and it definitely helped me learn more about myself, about social justice topics that I may have not learned about more in the past. And I definitely appreciate hearing from all of you and your stories and experiences, and it's definitely helped me be a more open individual. But I just want to leave you off with saying thank you for your ideas and what you brought to class, because it definitely aided in my own perspectives, and I think will help me be a better future higher education professional. So thank you so much, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, relaxing summer.